The voice in your head that tells you that you're not enough. The voice in your head that tells you that you should quit. The voice in your head that tells you that people are judging you. The voice in your head that makes you question if you're doing the right thing. The voice in your head that makes you question if you should be yourself or if you should cater to everyone around you. One of the biggest misconceptions about growth and self-improvement is that this voice goes away at some point. But this voice truly never leaves. It's always there lingering, even in your greatest achievements, even in your greatest moments. It creeps and tries to drag you back down to your old self. And many people think when they find purpose and they find direction and they make real goals for themselves, that this voice will just somehow vanish. It will just one day go away, never to return again. But the truth is the voice is always there. It never leaves, and sometimes it only gets louder as you progress in your self-improvement journey. In those rock bottom moments of our lives, when we are most depressed, most anxious, of course that voice is still present, but it's not as loud as we may give it credit for. A lot of us would think that the voice is loudest when we are at that worst moment in those dark moments of our life. But it's actually when you start trying to make a change in your life, when you start trying to do good for yourself for once, when you finally start building that self-respect, creating boundaries, where that voice is going to amplify more than ever. When you're comfortable and you're constantly falling into your bad habits, falling into your old patterns that you said you would give up years ago, the voice is not going to bother you as much. It is only going to exist to deprecate you and deteriorate you to keep you in the same spot. But it's when you threaten your own ego, you threaten your own mind by becoming something new and striving to change who you are in order to take control of the life that you truly deserve, that voice is going to try to drag you down every single chance that it gets. What you must understand is that your entire life, your mind has curated and built a box around you to keep you in for the rest of your life. This is what you can call the safe zone for your mind. And anytime you try to venture outside of that box, your mind is going to see it as a direct threat. Your mind is only going to perceive any sort of discomfort or anything foreign to your usual routine as a direct threat to you. So when you decide to actually get that gym membership, when you decide to make that first video, when you finally decide to chase that dream that has been lingering in your mind for so long, your mind is going to do whatever it can to make you revert back to who you used to be. And although the maximum strength of this is temporary, it never stops. The more that you progress, it seems that certain instances, certain environments, even certain people ignite these old parts of yourself. They dig up habits, memories, behaviors in your mind that you thought died a long time ago. So many people think that the war within yourself stops once you find purpose and meaning, once you find that path that you are willing to dedicate your entire life to. But this battle within yourself is a lifelong endeavor. You may battle in a different nature, in a different way, but it is still going to be a persisting obstacle that you must face until the end of your time. But as you swap out your bad habits and your bad behaviors for positive ones and healthy ones, you will start to become stronger than the voice. The difference between the version of you that was at that rock bottom moment, succumbing to his depression, his anxiety, every idea of self-doubt that crossed into his psyche, is simply resilience. It is strictly mental resilience that allows you to overpower the voice. It allows you to gain the wisdom to understand that this voice that has controlled you for so long never was the scary monster that held you captive for all those years. You start to see the voice for what it always was instead of what your mind created it to be. this insurmountable mountain, this inner critic that always stopped you from every opportunity to grow, every opportunity to find true joy, every opportunity to have a successful relationship, every opportunity to have better friendships. You realize all of those times that you thought the voice got the best of you was you just making a decision of self-sabotage, thinking that the voice was so powerful and so persistent within your mind that you had no control over what reaction came next, what actions and behaviors followed the stimulus of you criticizing yourself in your own mind. But as you gain purpose, you start to realize that you do have meaning and you do have power within yourself in which you are entirely the catalyst for. All the external factors that you once blamed for all your shortcomings and all of your failures no longer hold weight in your mind. You realize that success, joy, fulfillment is all found internally as opposed to anybody coming to save you or any external factor stopping you from becoming who you were meant to be. You stop seeing these random situations in your life that cause you hardship or challenge as a punishment, but more as an opportunity for you to gain more power and more wisdom and drown out the voice once more. When I first started my self-improvement journey, I never analyzed why I started in the first place. And years down the line, a mentor of mine eventually asked me why I started doing self-improvement. Why did I start making videos? And through that introspection, I discovered that my reason why was really rooted in self-hatred as opposed to self-love. I started doing self-improvement because I was trying so desperately to escape myself, my true state of being. But then later down the line, when I finally acknowledged this fact, I realized that I didn't need to run from who I truly was. I needed to become more of it. All of the behaviors and bad habits and addictions that I had formed and have put me into depression and anxiety for a cycle of 7+ years was all a product of my own mind, was all a product of trying to run from who God truly made me to be. It was me pretending, trying to kill off some of the best parts of myself I once discovered, trying to appease to my peers, trying to create a character that would please them. But the more that you pretend, the more that you reinforce in your own mind that who you truly are is not good enough. And that's when the voice has the most power over you. It's when you lose your sense of self, when you exhaust your own mind and own body by trying to play 5 different characters based on who is in front of you, and ultimately losing who you truly are in the process. You become so confused keeping up with the lies and the facades that you're trying to sell the people around you in effort to make them like you and become more likable in general, that you truly lose the real characteristics of your soul. First, you should ask yourself, what would I do with my life if I could not be perceived, if there was nobody to compare myself to, and people's opinions did not exist? This will start opening your mind to what you truly believe in, what you truly align with, and what you would be willing to die on a hill for. And that's what gives a man's life meaning in the first place. Having something so near and dear to his heart that aligns so intensely with his values and his morals that he would be willing to defend it at all costs. Any sense of agreement or combativeness at the hands of defending their purpose will all be worth it. They will never question anymore if they should compromise what they truly believe in order to cater to who is around them. And that exact internal strength is what starts to give you power over the voice. Because the voice is just another voice. It's just like somebody coming up and criticizing you. It's just like somebody making fun of your dream or what really means something to you. You realize almost simultaneously that people's opinions of you never mattered. All of their comments and criticisms never truly drove you to make a decision or action within your life unless you let it. And you also realize that the voice inside of your head also acts in the same prowess. It has the same amount of power, only what you apply to it. So if you give power to that voice in your head that tells you that you're not good enough, that that girl is going to reject you, and you should just get that shitty corporate job that you don't want to do, so people think you have money and you're important, then you have lost once again to that voice. When you realize that that voice telling you all of these things is complete bullshit, just like the rest of the voices criticizing you or commenting on your life, you start to truly live your life. You start to actually live for something that means something, not only to you, but also is infectious to everybody that is around you. Because now that you're authentically being yourself, you are now teaching your own mind to be confident, to act within its element, and therefore you will attract the people that are actually supposed to be around you. You will attract the right partner, you will attract the right friend group, you will attract anything that aligns with who you truly are. But even in your greatest achievements, even when you feel like you found your people, when you go to lay your head to rest at night, that voice will still visit you. That voice will still try to pull you back to who you once were, to the worst moments of your life where you had the worst psychology, the worst physical state, the worst environments, the worst everything for that matter. That's what your mind thinks is safe. That's what your mind thinks is protecting you. But what your mind thinks will protect you ultimately slowly destroys you. And if you're not conscious of it, you don't take control over the voice will direct your entire life. It will be the puppeteer that pulls every string on every part of your life and pulls you into a life that you never deserved. The first step is the awareness. The second step is realizing that that voice never truly held weight without you giving power to it. And then the third step is working so relentlessly, building irrefutable evidence, proving you are who you say you are every single day, that these good habits that you have replaced your bad, detrimental ones with are now so second nature to you that even if you tried, it would be harder for you to turn around and go back to who you once were compared to who you are now. And the more you act within who you truly are, and the more authenticity that you exhibit on a daily basis, the more that you will become stronger than that voice.